Hey there everyone, it is Kim Crumpus again, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. Today I want to do another trade breakdown. I've been getting some really good feedback from everyone that's listened, and I've even gotten some emails, so I want to thank you. If you're new to this channel, would you hit the subscribe button below and leave me a comment, leave me a question, leave me anything. I answer and reply to all of them, so thank you before we get going. Today I wanted to mention that I want to take a look specifically at today's New York session trades, all right? In the trade planning session for the New York traders, I end the session just briefly with a focus. And today we had a red news event that was at 10 a.m. Eastern, so it was 30 minutes into the New York Open after our planning session. And so I did a quick focus before the red news. You can see this is a screenshot from that focus that I wrote before the red news. I was looking to see if dollar strength would manifest. It never really did. And I was also focused on the Australian dollar and the CAD, which you'll see in my upcoming trades. So let's go ahead and talk about the trades that I took before the red news. Remember, at the Price Action Traders Institute, we only trade price, and I'm looking to only trade with the trend using what I call a yellow line to get into the trend move. And we're also looking for breakout trading, where a trend usually, not usually, I should say, always begins. So let's start with the AU. This was my first trade right here. It was on a yellow line trade. You can see a little bit of the spread caught me, but I got long this pair. It was in a beautiful, what we call a clear directional move long, a great trending move to the upside. That actually hit my stop during the planning session. The trade came back down here and hit my stop and took me out for 10 pips. The next trade I took was a range breakout, and you can see right here, this was the range. You can see the ranging price action up and down, no real trend yet. And here was the break, a great break on this trade. This trade ended up doing really well. It dropped into 107, actually went below it, and I was able to get out of this trade for 25 pips. Now remember, I have to take all these trades off before that 10 a.m. red news, which I did. The next one was this break here, the EJ. This EJ here was also ranging, had tried to break earlier, closed back in the range, tried to break here, closed back inside the range, and then finally we got this break right here, and I got short this pair. And this one dropped just below this 156, and I was able to get out of this trade before the red news for 11 pips. So making about 26 pips before the red news trading. And then at 10 a.m., as I mentioned, we had a red news event, and it was CB consumer confidence. Usually isn't a big mover, but you can use the red news to get positioned, especially in trending moves. So here was the AU from earlier. This was the trade that I lost on. You can see how price came down. This was the time of the news. I got long right here. Once spreads calmed and I saw that price action was moving in the overall direction, I had a take profit way up here at 68.20. I'm going to show you the progression of these trades. And then the other red news trade I took was this CAD yen. Remember, this CAD yen I bought on this break right here. This was the break I got out with plus 25. And now I'm getting back into that trending move short on the red news. And then the final one, which had a break earlier, remember I got out of that with 11 pips. I got back in right here. I shorted this on the red news and looking for it take profit down here. So all my take profits are set. This one's up here. It's a long. These are way down here into their deep moves. Now let's take a look at the progression and the outcome of these trades. So remember the AU, I get long right in here on that red news trade, and I'm targeting up here at 6,800. It's a 32 pip trade. I had moved this down because 68.20 was too high up and time was obviously moving on. It had been almost an hour since I'd been in that trade. And then the CAD yen, which if you recall, I got short on the news, came back up actually above my entry and then started to turn. I also moved my take profit from way down here up to here. because of time. And then the EJ, which was the one trade that really started to move. So remember, I was in this after it had broken. This was right here, the news trade, and it started to move down beautifully. And I'm targeting down here at 155.50. Nice acceleration. All of a sudden, we had some acceleration about a half hour into this move. And then here's the outcome. I ended up jumping out of this for plus 16. Didn't make it up to my 32 pips, up at 6,800. And then the CAD yen, I closed this for 15 pips. Also did not make it down to, I was targeting yesterday's low. It didn't make it down to my profit target of 32. And then this last trade, I closed this for 28 pips. It did have a profit target set down here for 49 pips. Didn't quite make it. And I actually gave back a little bit in that trade. All right, so here's a quick summary of all the trades we just looked at. So on the AU, on the left-hand side, remember this trade, I lost 10 pips. This came and hit my stop. And on the right-hand side, the news trade, I made 16. And then on the CAD yen, remember this trade, the original breakout trade before the news, before the planning session, I made 25 pips. And then over here, the red news trade, I made 15. And then lastly, the EJ, this was the break that was before the news. I punched out with 11. And then this one ended up over here on the right, making 28 pips. So a total of 39. So the breakout and trend trades that took place before the planning session and before the red news event ended up netting 26. And then the red news trades, these ones that I'm showing you here, ended up netting 59 pips. And that's for a total of 85 pips. Now, I made a total of 94 pips. There was a couple of losses in there that were offset by some smaller trades. But these were the bulk of my trades right here that we're looking at. And I wanted to see if these made sense to you and hopefully helps you with your trading. So again, Kim Crumpus from the Price Action Traders Institute. I am really glad you listened to this video. Hopefully it's not too long and helps your trading. Let me know again in the comments. Please subscribe, ask me a question, or make a comment if you want more of these videos. Thanks again.